Namaste. Welcome to your prenatal asana series. We are going to practice the labor poses today. Now, these poses are really helpful to process the labor pain and also go through the transitions of the stages of the labor. Now, the woman goes through 3 stages of labor, where in the first stage, her surges or the pain starts from gaps of once in half an hour, and then, or sometimes in some cases, once in 1 hour also. But it gradually transcends to the second stage of labor pain, where the uterus contracts almost about once in every 5 minutes, or eventually once in every 2 to 3 minutes. Now, the pain surges last for about 1 minute. So those are the times when we use breathing to process through the pain. But in between that time where there is no contraction, that is the main time when we have to use and utilize that time very effectively to allow the labor to progress, to allow the child to go down towards the birth canal, go deeper into your pelvic area, and allowing the right position during the entire labor process is really helpful. Now, the labor can be as long as 20 hours, 25 hours for some women, or even more at times. So these hours can be very intense, hence having some handy tools and knowing what are the correct postures can be really helpful. A lot of women who are unaware just lie down on their back, mostly trying to rest through or struggle through the labor pain. But indeed, if they practice certain postures or try to correct their posture and keep it in a manner where the child can easily process through the birth canal and settle itself through the pelvic area and allow the cardinal movements, which is the birthing movements, to happen, that allows the women body to stay at ease, and also really, really helpful for the child to get through all the struggle the child is doing to come out in the world. Now, the important part here is when we are sitting in a reclined position, we are lying down, or we are just relaxing on a sofa like this. Now, then your pelvis is tilted backwards, and the child, the pressure on the child is more because the pathway to the birth canal is actually shrink. It's not open enough for the child to settle down in the pelvic and come smoothly. So the idea is, if we lean forward, the child can get through the pelvic area and come out easily from the birthing canal. Now, this is the basic process that we need to understand when we are trying to create postures that are helpful for the birth. So basically, the idea is to keep your body forward, leaning forward, or squatting positions where the pelvic area can stay open. So the idea is that as much as we can lean forward, as much as we can keep the pelvic area open during the labor stages, that will help us progress into labor smoothly. So let's begin with just connecting with our baby and the belly. Taking a few breaths over here. Breathing into the belly and the baby. Calling upon the divine angels to surround us. Bless the mother, bless the child to go through this journey. Surrounding yourself with white light. Calling upon the beautiful divine energies once again. Asking for grace, asking for support, asking to surround us during the entire labor process. Feeling those energies in your auric space. May the strength, grace, may the ease be provided to the mother and the child to go through this process. And we now enter into our first posture, which is wild child pose. Wild child pose is just a minor variation of a child pose where our thighs are slightly extended because we are wanting to comfort the baby and the belly. Now, this is one of the resting positions and also allows us to ease through the process of labor. We open our thighs as wide as needed for the absolute comfort of the baby and the belly, and not compressing the baby and the belly at any point in time. Each body's comfort and each woman's bodily comfort during the prenatal phase is very different. So allowing as much as tools to support her and get her body into relaxation during the labor time is our goal here. So keeping the thighs open and just relaxing into the child pose here. Taking a few breaths. And gently coming up. We can also use a couple of postures if it's uncomfortable to be in this position and go down fully. One can use a couple of cushions and relax on them, just like this. While being in the wild child pose. And simply coming back. The next posture, which is really helpful to transition through the labor, is cat-cow. And we can make it a flow to just release the pressure from our pelvic area, allow the child to move better, and also ease our spine and the tension in the lower back, tension that is coming through the contractions during the time of the labor. So we inhale up and exhale down, making sure that each moment is very slow and relaxing. As much as the woman can sink into her body, just bringing her focus very internalized, making herself absolutely one with her body, surrendering and trusting into the body through the process. That will ease the process and make it quick and easier both for the mother and the baby. The idea is to be able to relax and surrender with every breath. Now here, what she can also use is a variation of cat-cow, where she extends one leg out, hence opening the pelvic area at the same time and relaxing her back also. So doing cat-cow, inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And the same can be practiced on the other side. Now, the fourth pose that we can practice during the time of the labor, which is very easeful, is butterfly. So bringing your soles of the feet together right in front and holding your ankles or your shins, wherever is comfortable. And staying in this position, just leaning forward a little bit. Taking a few breaths over here. Connecting to the baby and the belly. Or we can also ease with movement where we are just lifting our legs up and down, up and down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. One of the other postures or the variation of butterfly can be, because butterfly is a posture which allows to open, keep the pelvic area open and transition the process quickly. At the same time, because you're seated, you can also relax. So this can also be used as a relaxation posture in between the contraction by adding some props to it. So all you can do is take a block, keep it right in front of you, take a cushion, just put it right in front of you and just lean forward. Now when we lean forward, we are not only opening the pelvic area, it's open, and also we are getting into the right angle for the baby to go down towards the birthing canal. And we can breathe into this. This is allowing the whole hamstring muscles, the hip area to open up, the pelvic area to open up. And as you are seated, we can relax into it, and we are up. We can be satisfied that we are in the right posture to progress through labor. And inhaling long and deep here. And releasing. Now the other posture that can be used either in butterfly or in an easy seated pose is a wall stretch that we can do while being seated in butterfly or an easy pose. So what we are trying to do here is, while we are in butterfly or we are in easy pose, we just put both our hands on the wall and lean forward, allowing the same posture to happen and releasing any tension from the back at the same time, breathing into it, stretching at the same time, and allowing the right posture to work, the gravity to work in favor of the labor process for the baby and for the woman. Inhaling and exhaling into it. And inhaling and exhaling into it. And releasing. Now, the other thing that we can do is doing the same leaning forward with the help of the wall. So the way we practice this is simply standing and putting both our hands on the wall and leaning forward. While in labor, it can be long hours, and we might want some variations to keep changing postures, yet being in the right postures for allowing the process to continue, for allowing the relaxation of the body to continue. And we might want to relax different parts of the body in different manner. We might can get just exhausted by just standing or just by sitting. So having movement of different types can really help the process to go on. And we come back. From here, we can also do wall squats, where we just take support and begin to squat on the wall. And inhale and exhale. What we have to remember is that the woman at the time of the labor is already exhausted and is going through a lot. So using some props most of the time, either it's a birthing ball or a chair or a wall or a support of a partner, is really, really helpful at that point in time. So knowing that which prop can really help, then surrounding yourself with those things, or knowing even the wall postures can really help. Now here in wall squatting, we are squatting, allowing the gravity to work for us and allowing the process to keep down. At the same time, we are relaxing on our back and really helping the strength and releasing. In standing, also another way to lean forward and also try to relax in the forward bend is, one way is to have a block right in front of you and spread your legs wide as much as is required in order to lean forward and be comfortable without compressing the belly at any point in time. That much space in between your thighs, and we inhale forward and exhale gently. Hold on to the block. We inhale and exhale here. Now this is one of the posture where you can relax, and as we have a support of a block, so it's not too much of a pressure on the belly, but at the same time we are leaning forward and taking the gravity into our favor to progress us into the labor process, and allowing the child to find the right position and pass through every contraction with ease and grace. And gently releasing. Now, the next way to use the block is to come into Namaskar Asana, or one of the squats that actually is very helpful during the labor process. Now, squatting is anyway difficult, but for the woman who is in the labor and is already exhausted, it can, to stay in a squatting position, can ask for a lot from her body, because the balance is decreased, her body weight is now concentrated on the belly, so a lot is going on. So what we can do is take a support of a block, keep it right in the middle, and then squat, and then try to balance over that and keep our balance and keep our hands on the knees to just stay here. Inhale and exhale into that. Inhale and exhale into that. If this can feel a bit higher for some women, they can shift the block to the other side and try to squat even deeper. That's more comfortable and that's more deepening. Now, usually the Namaskar Asana is without a block, where we are just into the squat with Namaste. But when we're using the block, we can stay in the squat for a bit longer and help and ease the process more quickly. Now, the idea is that when we are opening our pelvic area, the baby can transcend very easily. Usually, if we even practice this for 30 seconds or 1 minute to 2 minutes, that's really helpful. But in the labor process, we want to make it faster. We want to use as much as gravity possible. So when we are using a prop like a block, we can stay in this for a bit longer position. If required, we can keep the chair right in front and hold someone's hand, use the chair or the wall right in front of us, and try to keep squatting and try to breathe through contractions in this posture while using the right posture, the right gravity for the baby. And exhaling fully. Releasing gently. Now we'll be using chair for the help of going through the process of the labor. So the way we can use chair is in multiple ways. The first way is to do pigeon pose while being seated on the chair. Now here, like just we are seated, we can fold and bend one leg right in front of us and try to stretch the leg and keep leaning forward. We can also relax in this posture while leaning forward, allowing one thigh at a time to open for us. And transition through the other one. The other best way to use the chair and keep the process going on and keep leaning forward is to have one block right underneath your feet and have cushions right over you, and you can bend forward like this. Now here you are seated, also at the same time in the right posture for the child to transcend and transition through this phase. Breathing into this. And releasing. The next posture that can be practiced with the chair is the squatting or the garland goddess pose. Now usually the goddess pose is simple squatting while standing, just like this. But during the labor, due to exhaustion, it might be difficult for the woman to stay squatted in this posture without any support. Hence, we can take the support of the chair right in the middle and just stay in the squat as much as possible. Sometimes we can just lift off or use the chair like this to squat on our own, and then we can come back, yet keeping the pelvic area open and even relax into this, just like this. Usually a lot of women sometimes also try the same posture on the toilet seat. Imagine this is a toilet seat, but I'm sitting on the reverse side. So if we don't have the right props, right support structure during the time of the labor, we can be a bit creative and use whatever we have at that point. Now, when you sit at the other way around, the opposite side on the toilet seat, you can just simply bend down in the same manner and allow the squatting process and the bending forward process both to work together for your body, for the baby and the belly. Now, another way we can use the chair to ease the process is doing forward bending on the chair. The way we can do it is, one, we can hold on and create as much as space is required to keep doing forward bends. Inhaling and exhaling, creating a right angle with the help of the chair and keeping the posture intact. The second way we can relax into this is to keep cushions on the chair, lean forward, go a bit backward, and allow the process of the gravity to work for us. Breathing into this. And releasing. The other way we can use the chair is from the reverse side. Once again, for the right angle. The second way we can use is just for squatting and holding onto the chair, just like this. Creating more balance. Sometimes while squatting, the heels can also lift, and if required, a cushion or a blanket support can also be taken underneath your heels to support and keep squatting in this position. And keep breathing into it, allowing the baby to transition. Surrendering a bit more. Using each asana, using each posture to surrender a bit more to your body, allowing the blessings of the earth, allowing the gravity to work in the favor of the baby and the mother. And just gently releasing. And if she's fully exhausted at times and she wants to take rest, yet stay in a position where she is progressing through the labor, and that's when she can do side shavasana, but by keeping a peanut ball in between her legs, or by keeping many number of cushions in between her legs. So just lying down idly on her left hand side, because that keeps the heart rate intact. That is more useful for the baby, as the supply of oxygen is much more when we lay down to our left hand side, to the baby and to the mother as well. So using your left hand side, lying down, opening your thigh area, keeping as many cushions as possible, and then just relaxing on the side. This is more useful if you keep a peanut ball right in the middle and breathe into this posture, inhaling and exhaling, transitioning powerfully through the labor process. Breathing into the relaxation here. And gently now, these are the postures that can help the women to transition through the labor process with a lot of ease. I hope all these poses in combination and at the same time you use the power of surrender, gravity, relaxation, as well as breath in order to help yourself or any other woman to transition through the labor process. It's a very beautiful, sacred process of bringing life on the earth, and it's a great opportunity for the woman in the labor and for the people who are supporting her to gift this life to the planet. And as much as ease and as much as support we can offer to the child to transition through this phase or these few sacred hours of labor, we can help the life on the planet. So this is how we can generate new energies and new understanding for the body, for the mind, to know that it has all the tools, it can surrender, it can use the power of gravity in its favor. So use all the understanding and all the relaxing postures for the favor of the labor process. Thank you.